You know what's crazy, Ben?
What's crazy, Walt?
It was my wife's birthday, and she blamed me for ruining it.
Ruining?
Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous because I didn't even know it was her birthday. Well, guys, we're back. I'm rare coin expert Walt Durham,
And industry veteran Ben Parker.
and we are the coin guys from Texas. And the coin guys from Texas has been busy.
No kidding.
It's been a busy day. It's been a busy couple
My
days.
gosh, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy month, year, everything all rolled up into a ball. It's just been a crazy one.
Yeah, gold today almost hit your little price point that you predicted in January.
Yes, so if you've been watching, I've said it plenty of times. 2,430 was my price prediction. And this morning I got up probably about 5:30, and I got a couple messages on my phone that gold this morning had already surpassed 2,400.
Yep.
Sitting down for some breakfast a little bit later this morning, and then I see it over. I think the highest point I saw it today was 2,425, maybe
I think
27,
24 and a quarter.
somewhere around there. So technically, I'm not right yet because it hasn't hit it. So
Yeah, but what's funny is when we initially said that, or when
it was
you,
by year's end.
yeah, when you had said that, like the amount of hate that we got on the social medias that we put, clips out on was ridiculous. So, just God doesn't know what he's talking about. This is crazy. Bitcoin's way better. Like you name the comment about 2430, and people were just like, oh, he's crazy.
Well, and I can see where they're coming from because, you look back at what we've dealt with in the past. We were crazy before when gold was going to go to 1,900 and 2,000.
I've told you the story before about companies getting in trouble for advertising that gold was going to go to $1,000.
Yeah.
And governments came in and were like, hey, gold's never going to go to 1,000.
Surprise, surprise.
And I'm here to say gold's never going back to $1,000.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. But no, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about how strong gold was, and that we're definitely entering a bull market. One of the first episodes we did was about the fun show in Florida, and I talked about how the dealer sentiment, which is like, me and a bunch of other dealers, we felt like, hey, we're going to hoard some gold because we believe we're just now entering a bull market.
Yeah.
And people really we got a little bit of backlash on that, saying like, that's not the case. Gold's at $2,000. There's no way we're, it's peaked, and and we see it from the demand side, right? Our phone hasn't stopped ringing today. And listen, if you're watching this podcast, you probably are not the type of person who will call as it's up. You're the type of person who's been calling, been buying silver.
Yeah.
Been buying gold. You've been accumulating it. But the majority of the people out there, when they buy gold and silver, they wait till it's in the news and they wait till it's up. Silver's up what did I tell you this morning? 31.8%.
The last 60 days?
In the last 60 days. Now, we had people come in, walk through the door today. I woke up to text messages from customers. What can you do on 20 ounces of this? What could you do on 100 ounces of this? And it's like, you wait till today because it hit $29 today.
Yeah.
But that's the vast majority of people.
Yeah. I mean, I even have family members that don't necessarily care too much, but they're wise enough to keep an eye on it once in a while. And when this happens, I've got family and friends that will reach out to me and say, what can you do for this? And, you could have been doing this any time. You waited for it to get to this point. So I can't blame them. It's good. Demand's good. And I think it still will continue. The money's still there. It's not going to go to zero. That's an important thing to think about. But while we're on this, I want to get the spot prices out there for y'all. This is the interesting thing. We saw gold could jump up this morning. I think we are seeing all those people that purchased from the beginning of the year to now, they have certain contracts or any form of gold, they're taking profits right now.
Yes.
This is to be expected.
And listen, we are too. You saw what I was doing in the vault back there.
Exactly, yeah.
The hodgepodge of stuff that's just kind of accumulated and thrown, that's what we're doing. We're selling off.
Yeah.
Some stuff that we're in profit on that, is just miscellaneous stuff, cleaning up, I guess.
Yeah, and that's to buy more coins.
Yeah. It's just the stuff. getting rid of the dead inventory from a,
Yeah, exactly.
it's foreign gold coins that walk in off the street that
Stuff
we paid.
that we just haven't sold yet. And yeah.
It's got
So spot right now is 2,350. So it's down about 75 from the high that we saw today. This is just people taking profits, which is good. And we have silver at $28.13 today. The thing about this too is silver almost hit $30 this morning.
Yeah.
It was up at one point, I think $1.50 on the day. So they're taking profit there as well. Platinum is 991 and palladium is 1,070.
So today we got Gold Eagles at 25.55 and some change, and that's with a credit card. And Silver Eagles, I believe, are 34.50 today with the recent pullback on the pricing of silver. Just pulled back.
Yeah.
Slight delay on the Silver Eagles just because of demand. Mint's having a hard time keeping up. Our distributors are having a hard time keeping up. So slightly longer than normal shipping on those. But yeah, man, this morning I had, a friend of mine, he's been buying silver here lately since silver's been about $21 an ounce. And he was like, text me this morning, 29.10 silver. You see that? He's like, are we going to the moon or what? And I said, no, more than likely you'll see a pullback here today sometime. And because it is Friday.
Yeah.
And you'll see a pullback maybe even next week. But that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's just touching on what you're saying. Like, that's a good thing.
It should tell you, so without getting too specific about it, whenever you see people taking profit, those coins can't, they're not going to re-enter the market at that price they were purchased previously, or gold, or whatever it may be. The new person that's purchased that has it, that's their bottom level. They're not going to want to sell that specific gold or silver or whatever it may be until it gets to a certain level, then they might consider it.
Right.
So every time we go up a considerable amount, if you notice, we come back down to earth about half of that, and then that's the new step. So that's what I call stair stepping. It moves up past that there. That's
when in doubt, zoom out.
When in doubt, zoom out. So on that also, if you look at gold spot price history, you're going to see it shoots up high over time. And then once it reaches that peak, because we don't know when the all-time high is going to be set for a while. Here recently, we've been breaking it 5 days in a row. That's ridiculous. It'll go up to about the new high. It'll come down to about half of what that floor was before. So looking at it right now, I would say that the floor for gold is a comfortable 2,300 right now. That's the kind of the new place that we're at.
That's where everybody feels comfortable at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. There was a coin dealer. He was actually, his name's Rob Oberth. He's governor of the ANA. He put out a quote today, this morning in our little group chat that there's no way to sell at the top, the complete top, and there's no way to buy at the complete bottom. So you sell on the way up and you buy on the way down. And that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are waiting and waiting and waiting to when do I sell? And so that's what a lot of smart people are doing. They're selling on the way up. Hey, I've got silver that I'm in at $18 an ounce. It's $29. Sell. Yeah. That's going to, okay, so you're putting more silver back on the market. Silver pulls back down to $28.60.
Exactly.
That's kind of what we're seeing. But
I will tell you this, and I won't name specific institutions, but some of the big names in the financial industry, they're coming out now and they're adjusting their projections. Before, their projections were 2,300, 2,400, and that was the average for the year.
Yeah.
I kid you not, one of them this morning I read, and this isn't just any Joe Blow down the street. This is a really big bank in America.
Yeah.
Has said their price projection for the end of the year is now 3,000.
Wow.
It's not out of the realm of possibility anymore.
Yeah. So what does this mean to the average collector is kind of the questions we get tossed, right? And there's some good things for you guys who are collecting, right? For example, premiums on Saints have been destroyed. There are no more Saints in 63 and 64, 62 and 61 definitely. I mean, they're just, the premiums are gone.
Even as high as, in some cases, common date 66s. I mean, so what I do is I go back and I look at, we keep track of not just day by day, but we can go back to 2021 and see what, bids and offers were on certain coins. The average person can't really do that. It's very difficult. I mean, this is what we do. This is our career. So it's very difficult for someone that they're doing it as a hobby to compare, are the premiums high right now? Are they low? Is this a good deal?
Right.
If you are thinking about getting anything, and that's what we mentioned, I believe, last episode, if you're getting anything right now and it's certified, chances are the premiums are extremely, extremely low right now.
Yep.
So we're seeing that. So for a collector, hobbyist, whatever you're doing with coins, we mentioned it last time. If you've been waiting to get that one key date that you need, if you've been waiting on some money, it's just past tax season. If for whatever reason you actually got money back for whatever reason, put it in gold and silver, you've been looking for certified coins, that delay from the spot prices shooting up, that demand is almost kind of like a ripple in the surface of water. You drop something, it's going to move out, and then it's going to reach to the other areas of the market, and it starts with that spot price. It gets to rare coins, certified coins. It's going to get there eventually, and then I think the longer we stay at these levels, those premiums are going to slowly but steadily start increasing again.
And so that's kind of like when it comes to just proof gold eagle sets that are OGP, right?
Yeah.
I've seen, premiums for that, just raw proof gold American Eagle sets at $1,000 over melt. Seen them at $600 over melt. Seen them at $200, and now you're like at $100, $100 and $200 over. You're just basically at the same price as you were when gold was 2,000.
Yeah.
It's a slinky effect, and what's going to happen is people are going to get comfortable, and then the premiums are going to shoot back up to $500 or $600 over.
Absolutely.
And then when you're at, and then instead of being $2,600 an ounce at that premium, you're at $3,200 an ounce, and that's what I see the biggest thing. So right now there's an opportunity if you want to go get some 20 Saints. To me, the Saints stand out the most. I mean, every dealer I've talked to this morning is like, "Man, you've seen the premiums on 20 Saints?" Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, the premiums are cheap. You can go steal some value. You can go get a historic, authentic, nice, brilliant, uncirculated, certified example of a United States gold coin, with a lot of melt value in it."
Yeah. And not for that much over spot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best buy in the world or whatever. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean,
the premiums are just, take advantage of premiums while they're here.
Exactly. And that's the crazy thing is 1 ounce gold. And like we said earlier, if you would have told me earlier this year that a raw ungraded 1 ounce BU gold eagle was $2,500 and that was a good price.
Yeah.
It would have been a little ridiculous, but
yeah, so
especially this soon.
And there's another thing I want to talk a little bit about as to be informative as possible. We had just an individual. This is just one individual. It happens a bunch.
Yeah.
So, but we had an individual yesterday call and ask about 1 ounce gold American Eagles, a roll. Wanted 20 coins, and he was like, "Well, can you do any better if I get 20?" And again, the coins are $2,500, right? I just said $2,555.
Yeah.
We might walk away with $75 in profit on a $2,000 item.
Yeah.
And that's gross. There is, and so the traders will come up to me and be like, "Can we do any better?" No. Like we've set our pricing pretty much right in the middle tier of if you buy 20 from another dealer, you can get that price with us on our 1 ounce gold eagles if you're buying 3. We set them in the middle tier and just move everything like that. It's just a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
And it's just we don't have that much room. And I say this for every coin dealer you talk to, don't have that much room. And in fact, if you start seeing, Facebook ads for 1 ounce gold eagles at $19.50 run, like it don't get much cheaper, right? Everybody's going to be within a few dollars of each other.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, I've spent $200,000 with you. That's $5,000 in profit, maybe.
Yeah.
You go to Walmart and spend $200,000. You're a good customer to them.
Yeah.
So it's just like be a little more realistic on understand that, no other industry works on these kind of margins. Mm-hmm. Maybe gasoline, convenience stores, but be mindful of that. Silver Eagles, almost everybody makes less than $1 on.
Yeah.
But hey, you sell 1 million of them.
Yeah.
It's $1 million.
That's exactly how it works. So I know one thing we did want to talk about today is we've talked often about, that now's the time to buy, especially this year. But what happens whenever you go to sell? What are some things that, people should look out for, keep in mind, things to avoid, things that, So one thing I want to bring up is we had one of the biggest issues you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache. You're going to save your trader a lot of time whenever you go to sell is organization.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many people come in this door unorganized and they pay for it. Whether I make them feel like they pay for it or not, they pay for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just being as completely honest and transparent as I can. If you come in here and you say, a lot of people have like 90% silver and they're just like disorganized with it. And we've got to count it all. I'm going to want to pay you $1 less per face. So because now I've got labor involved. I'm organizing it for you. But if you walk in with bags clearly marked or tubes and clearly marked and say this, it becomes a lot easier because it's a lot safer transaction from us because we're in the risk reward business. There's a little bit of risk that we buy fake stuff or that we miscount. The reward is we make a profit on reselling the silver. So it's a risk reward business. The more risk you can take out of it for your dealer, your local dealer, or any dealer, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And so the big example we have, you remember, is the guy who came in with 11,000 plus war nickels, silver war nickels. And some of them were rolled. Some of them were just dumped in a bag. And he had other stuff mixed in there. And so me and you sorted it fairly quickly as I think anybody could.
Yeah.
But we had to hedge ourselves because of the chaos that was going on with the bags. And the dealer that I sold it to, just to put it in perspective, they took 2.5 weeks to verify what I sold them.
Yeah. We did it in an hour.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to be able to get more, especially with a large quantity, because with just that issue alone, I mean, most places out there do charge, if they want an appraisal or if they want a value on something, if you have to go through and it takes multiple people an hour, that's technically man hours that you should be charged.
Yeah.
We don't really do that. It's,
I do it in my head, and I'm just being as honest as possible. This is a business at the end of the day, and this is every coin shop you walk into.
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, you quoted me the most anybody quoted me on the war nickels and on the silver. People wanted to pay him 50 cents on the war nickels, 50 cents a piece, because they knew it was about to be labor intensive.
Yeah.
Now we've been doing it a long time. We know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
An hour's not bad. So we were able to get up to 95 cents, double.
Yeah.
And he tried to squeeze me for an extra 5 cents, and I was like, no. Now, had his stuff been in order, it would have been no problem.
Yeah.
But there was just a lot of chaos going on. There was some nickels that in there that weren't, the silver, 35% silver war nickels. So
there was clad. It was a lot of different.
There was a lot of stuff going on, and but we made it work, and we got it done for him, right? And he was happy. He was able to buy a boat which is what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He came in over a couple days and sold us in total a little over 11,000 dimes, 11,000 nickels. And then he had dimes and
quarters
and the only thing I turned him away on is the 90% dimes he had. He had a bag of 90% dimes, but in that bag, he's like, I think there's 13 rolls of clad ones in there. God, well, I'm not sort. Either you can leave these with me, or you can take them home and sort them.
Yeah.
And so I said, and if you leave them with me, I said, I'm going to pay X. He said, well, I'll take them home and sort them. Well, he comes back in a few days and he says, I went through a couple of them. I got a few out. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have to pay you X.
Yeah.
You know, I have to, like, I can't sell to our customers a clad dime for the price of a silver dime.
No.
Like, it's going to take some man hours to do this. And he understood, and he was a great guy. And, you know, he was happy. And at the end of the day, I was happy. But he could have got a little more cash in his pocket if he would have reduced the amount of time that we had to spend building it. And I think people, like, that's the biggest tip I can give to people.
Sorting,
like, just
organizing.
Like, time is money in any business. And, you know, if my time's $250 an hour, which is easily what I charge, if a lawyer calls for an appraisal on coins, it's easily $250 an hour, or if not $350 these days. Yeah, it might take me 10 seconds to look at a coin and say that's VF. It'd take you, 3 or 5 minutes to look up, to kind of just get in the ballpark.
Yeah.
So, yeah, time is money. Be organized when you're selling stuff.
Okay, so be organized mainly whenever you're selling, especially junk silver. Just have it rolled, have it sorted.
I've got another one.
What's that?
Don't be a butthole.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen. Every dealer who watches this is going to know that I'm 100% right on this. We have so many people call, and they're already in defense mode. It's like we're used car salesmen trying to sell them a used car almost. And it's like, hey, you called us for advice. And they become pretty rude because they are now an expert in the coin that they just Googled for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason I say don't be a butthole is you can catch more flies with honey than you can with,
Yeah.
So, man, understand that I'm trying to help you out. Great. You've got a coin you've never seen before. Chances are there's 900 million of them sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
The presidential dollars are a big one, right? Nobody sees them because nobody wants to carry them.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But people, I know what I know exactly. I know what I got.
I know what I got. I did my research.
My research. That's a big one.
That's a big one. And what it ultimately boils down to is it's people that we don't want to, waste their time, because our time is just as valuable as theirs is. And ultimately we want to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste your time.
No.
So, prime example, a lady called the other day, said she had some silver dollars. And I said, my first thing is they say, can I come in so you can look at them? Well, I'm all about time, right? What do you have? Let's just try to solve this situation over the phone. Mm-hmm. What do you have? Well, I've got some silver dollars and I've got some gold dollars. Great. Can you tell me what years the silver dollars are? She goes, I got one that's 1921. I said, great. That's a Morgan silver dollar. She goes, well, I guess. I said, is it got an eagle with its wings wide open on the back? Yeah. I said, okay, that's a silver. I said, what are some of the other years? 1976, 1974. Okay, those are Ike dollars. Those are clad. Those aren't silver. So is there anything else that you wanted to get appraised? And she was like, well, I've got some quarters and I've got some dimes that are silver. I said, okay, what years are they? And she goes, well, I don't know. I said, well, the only ones that are silver are 1964 and before.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, well, I don't think any of them are. I said, okay, so those you can just go ahead and spend. If they're 1965 and above, they are clad. There is absolutely no silver in them. So I said, your Morgan silver dollars sounds like the only thing that you have that's worth of value, and it's worth between $20 and $30, depending on the average 1921 Morgan silver dollar that we see walk through. I just saved her gas money. I save myself time, her time, just by asking a few simple questions. And I'm not there to berate somebody. I'm there to try to make things more efficient. When some people call and they've got a 1921 Morgan dollar that they seen one on Etsy because it's got this VAM variety and it's 600,000. It's like, okay, I can basically tell you what a 1921 Morgan silver dollar looks like from a local customer before I even see it.
Yeah.
So just don't understand that a dealer's there to help you.
Okay, so let's talk on the opposite side of that. We've talked about it before, how pawn shops' ideology, their approach is doubling up.
Right.
If you go to a place that has a electric guitar hanging up on the wall for sale and a bunch of TVs, and they also buy gold, depending on who it is, I've come across more pawn shops than any that's what they do. They double up. They know that, okay, well, the gold content is X amount of dollars. I'll give them, bullion, they'll usually do 75, 80%, 85%. But in a lot of other cases with some of the rare coins, they can, it's certified. They'll go search it. They'll see, okay, this one sold recently in an auction online for this price. I'm going to give him half.
Right. Or like a lot of times, even with like New Orleans Mint 10s, you go in there, they're going to want to give you $1,250, $1,300. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what melt. They know they're safe.
Yeah.
Nowadays that's close to melt value.
Yeah.
So they know they're safe. And and it's basically roughly half of what it's worth, right? Yeah, they do that a lot. Y'all, I think the retail customer would be highly surprised how many times we buy from pawn shops and stuff like that.
Oh, they'll contact us and say, hey, I just got this in.
Right. Yep. 100%. I mean, you paid $100 for something. They paid you $50. I paid you $90. Paid them $90. I get a better deal than what I would have normally got if I went out onto the open market. The only person who loses is the customer because he didn't go to a reputable person first.
So organize, avoid. If it's someone it's a coin store that's on the side of one. The best thing about it is you can go and at least get a price and walk away.
Right.
But you should know that more than likely they're going to give you a severely undervalued price.
Yep. Because again, a lot of businesses can't survive on a 10% margin. Mm-hmm. I mean, very few businesses can survive on a 10% margin. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about a brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
Like let's just look at it realistically. Like, a brick and mortar business with electricity and staff to help you when you walk in, it can't really survive on 10%.
No.
And, you want to get the most out of your, coins, obviously, but what you're paying for is convenience because you don't have to box them up and ship them. Like the guy who had 11,000 dimes. Do you know how hard that was or 11,000 nickels? Do you know how hard that was to ship? You know how heavy those packages were? It was so heavy that I had to go to the post office with the girls because they couldn't lift them. And we even broke them down into multiple packages. So I've got, $40 or $50 per package in shipping costs.
Yeah.
I've got insurance on these things. Just be a little more realistic. And not everybody's out there to get you. Some people are. I'm not going to lie. Some people are out to get you. But prime example too. What would you think about this? So I've got a guy who's recently been turned on to silver. He was referred to me, and he's kind of a friend of a friend. And he was buying silver bars and stuff from us. Well, he has found this place or somebody who's selling him silver bars at, prices I can't buy it when I buy in bulk, like 10-ounce silver bars and stuff like that. I haven't seen the bars or anything.
This is a business that's selling those?
It could be a pawn shop. It could be, because with, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You can go pick off a small coin shop sometimes, mainly a pawn shop or an estate sale when there's a run up like there is in silver prices, right? Because it seems like a snap of the finger, silver's gone from 23 to 28. right? So if I pay $230 for a silver bar, 10-ounce silver bar, and you walk into my shop or a pawn shop and, I do TVs, guitars, tools, we specialize in DeWalt tools and Milwaukee's.
Yeah.
And then I have it priced at $265 a bar. You're like, okay, I'll buy that. And I'm like, great, I made my money. Not realizing that they melt at 28, $284 today. So he is like, hey, can you match this price? And I was like, absolutely not. I said, I would buy them at that price. And he was like, so, my sentiment is if you're going to do that to me, because like I said, what do we make on bullion? 6%, maybe.
Maybe that.
Maybe. I mean, that's a good bullion deal, 6%. He's going to want to sell it. And it's like, he's going to want to sell it to me. I'm going to want to hit him when he comes. You're going to get less than if you would have bought everything from me. Because if I can make 3% on you on the front end, 3% on the back end, we're good, right? But if you're buying everything from, I have no incentive to buy it from you at a price where I can't make money.
Well, and it also raises a question. Anytime that someone's able to get something for less than we can, I'm not saying we are the best in the world. Well, we're pretty great, but I'm not saying we're the best in the world, but we have our finger on the pulse. We know what's going on. We know what the prices are. And if someone's getting, 10-ounce bars, there's got to be a special situation going on there. But for less than we can.
I think what it is what happens is pawn shops get in, every now and then people will sell their silver bars at a pawn shop. Well, silver's $22. I'll give you $180, for the 10-ounce bars. And they price them at, $265. Again, silver runs up to $28, and somebody comes in and says, "I'll take them. They're good. They paid $180 for them." I think that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And so, don't. Man, I've said this so many times to young dealers, to customers. Relationships in this business and in any business can go a long way.
Yeah.
A very, very, very long way. And sometimes I will sell to somebody, at a little bit less money because the relationship means more to me than the few extra dollars. And I promise any young numismatist out there, any dealer out there, or any retail customer, if you look at this industry, if you look at relationships first, you'll get so much more accomplished. I mean, I've got guys. So the ultra breaks, right? That they're a big thing now, right? They sell out within 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Every release, 3,000 coins, limit of 5 packs per household, and gone in 5 minutes, right? Well, we've got customers who've built relationships with us. Now, as soon as they come out, hey, I just want to go ahead and place my order for 10. Got you.
Well, and also, when
so he's done. He's done. He don't have to wait in line. He knows I'll just charge you when I get them and ship them. And it's all because he had built a relationship with me, or these people have built relationships with me over the years. And they paid a little bit more money on the ultra breaks in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now look at them. Now they're getting them. Now they don't have to wait in line and getting them at normal prices.
And now they are paying, what'd that guy get that gold coin for?
$149. So we did have, so for those you don't know, the ultra breaks, they have these cool chase coins in them now. They call them chase coins. If you're not familiar with coin or baseball packs or football card packs, there's always a chase, So on these, you're going to get the one he pulled the gold coin on was the Around the World pack. So you could have got one of 4 silver coins from around the world in Mint State 70, and you could have got a pop 30 coin or a pop 3 coin.
Yeah.
But the ultimate chase coins were these 1-ounce gold coins put in there. And the packs cost $149. So he had ordered his 10 packs.
Yeah.
And he pulled a gold infinity, gold coin with an infinity label, pop 1 of 1.
I didn't know it was infinity.
It's an infinity label.
Oh,
gold
my gosh.
Libertad?
One of one.
One of one
Think about that.
for $149. The coin melts at $2,400 today.
That is unbelievable.
Fun times, man. And he also pulled some other cool stuff in there, but that was his. I mean, he hit the jackpot. That coin. I mean, just seeing what Ultra Breaks are selling for, Jesus. I don't know.
Made a killing.
Yeah, but he probably won't sell it.
I wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah, he's just he's happy.
Yeah.
But anyway, it just goes to my point. Building a relationship, and I could bring dealers to sit right there where you're at, and we could talk hours about building relationships and where it'll get you in this business particularly.
Oh yeah, and especially when you get up to a certain level, you know, if there's only a certain amount of coins that are available, once some come on the market, you know, you build up your relationship to the point where they're going to want to call you first and let you know about a certain deal, or you know, they're going to pick favorites. You know,
it's human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we all have customers that we would sell first to because they're easier to deal with, and we have a relationship with them. You know, we might sell a $14,000 coin for $13,500 to that person instead of $14,000 to another. You know, I got a guy over here wanting to, pay $14,000, but you know, my good customer over here wants to pay $13,500. Well, this guy's been doing business with me and continue to do business with me.
It's mutually beneficial.
Yep. And so that's the only thing. Whether you're selling or buying, relationship does matter, but. Building a relationship with a dealer is a big deal. And so like I'd said earlier, you know, the guy going around and buying 10-ounce bars, you know, just trying to get me to match some of these ridiculous prices that no one on the planet's going to match. You know, there's a different way to do it. Like if he's continuing to buy me, he goes by and he picks up that stuff, but he continues to buy from us. And then when he sees the good deals, he buys those. He's not asking me to try to, you know, he buys his good deals when he comes up. Then when he comes to sell them to you, because he's a good customer, he's built that relationship, and he's going to be treated like a good customer. But if you're going to only look at me like dollars and cents, I'm only going to look at you like dollars and cents.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to come in here after, you know, going and buying every lost leader you can find, I'm going to pay less money. I'm not going to make it easy on you. And it's your prerogative to sell to me or not. I mean, but everybody's going to do that to you.
That's
just the reality. That's as transparent as I can be.
Yeah.
But that's my big thing. Be organized. Be polite.
Yeah.
Lean on some people. Like, we have a reputation to maintain. So when you call me about your presidential dollar and I tell you that it's worth $1, and I don't want to buy it, I'm not doing it to be mean. Because if it was worth even $10 or $100, I'd want to buy it at some price.
Yeah.
So just understand that sometimes people are telling you the truth, and Etsy is not a go-to place.
Anybody can put a listing on there and put any price they want on there.
Right. Just like while we're at it, let's just go ahead and talk about eBay. Anybody can put a daggum listing on eBay. Like, that is one of the biggest telltale signs. Like, you know, people put these quarters on there for $600 and they have one feedback. That means they bought and sold a combined total of one item. You know, anybody can put it, right? And in the same token, let me tell you, they go steal pictures. Like, this really happens. They steal pictures of coins. This happened to us recently on a $13,000 coin on eBay. I'm just going to tell you how it goes. We saw a rare coin on eBay. Like, that's underpriced. We're going to buy it. It was $13,000. And we paid for it. And then we get a message, hey, I had an emergency. I'm going out of the country. It's going to be a couple of weeks. No, refund our money. You know what I mean? That happens so much that people don't understand. So with eBay, be very careful.
There's a huge risk.
Huge risk.
The coin that is in the picture might not even be available. It might not exist anymore. When it gets there, it might look like a totally different one. And there's some people that prey upon ignorance, and they prey upon, you know, maybe it's not such a big deal. You'll let it slide. You won't do anything about it. And it happens all the time. It's happening constantly every single day on eBay.
Yeah.
And not anything against eBay. eBay's a great place,
Yeah.
but there's no real way to vet.
If you're not an expert in the area, then.
And also with a lot of the counterfeit coins that we've been seeing,
A lot.
more and more.
So
coming on the
I'm
market.
part of a group called the Dark Side Counterfeits Group, and what we do, it's a group of dealers, and we all take X amount of time per day, per week, and we go through eBay and try to report as many fake coins as we see. And it's a lot of us that do it. So you're never going to know. It's like you were talking about the pawn shop you walked into, and they had
because I do the
fake, what is a standing Liberty quarter?
Well, I do the same thing that you mentioned earlier, is that not that I'm trying to get over on anybody, but I'm always looking for a deal that's
Why not? Yeah,
undervalued.
That's not a problem.
So I'll go to every pawn shop in the area, maybe like once a month or once every 2 months, and I'll go, well, I was there recently and at one, and before they never had a coin section. It was always jewelry, whatever. But I'm looking through, and all of a sudden there's a coin section. It's maybe about 2 feet long inside the display case, and they've got a lot of coins that were, I won't be rude, but there was a lot of coins. And one of them was a trade dollar. So it's like, oh, wow, a trade dollar. You don't see that often, especially in a pawn shop. Then I noticed this is a little bit bigger than the Silver Eagle sitting next to it. And then you start looking, the closer and closer you look, more things start to stand out. It was a fake trade dollar instantly. I mean, you could tell something was off with it.
Right.
And they had their in-house grading for this raw coin, and they wanted, I want to say, $400 for this coin. I can't remember the date for it. I didn't want to take a picture, but I just, as nice as I could, I told them, hey, this is a fake coin. Take a look at it. I don't know if they got the impression that I was trying to pull one over on them or upset them in any way, but said, just so you know that's a fake coin. And hopefully you didn't buy it. This is something that may be consignment, or I don't know how that works, but I really hope they didn't buy it, because if they tried looking up that specific year, I think it was worth a pretty penny, even in a raw condition. But
you got to be careful out there. That's for sure. Again, relationships, build a relationship with a good dealer. That way, when you want to buy or sell, build a relationship with a couple dealers. Like, relationships will go a long way. Just like, you had a good customer going through some kind of cancer treatment. He was a little bit down on a coin, but he'd been a good customer, and we bought it back from him exactly what he paid for it, just to help him out. That's the kind of stuff that you're not going to get if you're just treating everybody like dollars and cents. Yeah. So that's my biggest advice. But that's all I've got today. It's been a busy day. I still got more invoices to go do. I got more invoices to go.
It's going to be a late
type
day.
in. It's going to be a late day just because of everything going on with the metals market. But it's an exciting time to be with gold and silver and platinum and all of it. Rare coins are doing really well in auctions. So if you're new to the market, congratulations. Hold on tight. It's going to be a fun ride over the next couple of months.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Till next time.